So much. We're super proud of you and congratulations this morning. We appreciate this. And so we will be having many discussions this morning. Our guest will be going through the book that Fatou wrote, and the book is entitled Her Virginity. We're so excited about this, and we are also eager to read and find out more about the content of this book. And for those of you who don't have an idea of what this book is about, just allow me to just give you a hint about what this book is about. So this novel is 90% nonfiction, and looking into the unspeakable and traumatic real-life experiences of women and girls in their homes and society. While the novel is set in the Gambia, it generally depicts the persecution of our sisters and mothers across African societies. So you see how important this book is. Well, the book's main theme and central focus is how virginity is used, or rather abused, as a benchmark to determine the rights, value, and dignity of women and girls in society, especially in their natural homes or marital homes. Well, this theme was carefully chosen, and after an extensive and profound observation of how the virginity test is used as a tool to suppress and maltreat our sisters and mothers. And all the related issues are also entailed in this book, especially on sexual and gender-based violence, such as rampant rape and incest, prostitution, trafficking of women by family members for monetary purposes, abuse of young girls by the rich and powerful in society, and cyberbullying are equally covered in this book. We all know cyberbullying is a problem in our society, and until something is being done to address this, it's going to break a lot of people, break a lot of homes, and do more harm before we realize it. So this is something excellent that is captured in this book. And just to wrap it up, as the author, Fatou's idea not only highlights the rampant and prevalent nature of such acts of violence, but it also introduces them as topics for discourse. Our society is largely quiet on these issues. So we have a culture of silence in our society, and this book plus many endeavors in our society are trying to break this culture in our society, to create a public discourse for people to discuss them. So I'm sure all of you at this juncture are excited to grab a copy of this book and read it to the best of your ability, so we can ensure the necessary change we want to see in our society as far as advancing the plight of women and girls in our society is concerned. So I will stop there, and I miss a very important point, because when you give a mic to a former journalist, she would want to go on and on. So before we start the program proper, we would like to bless the gathering by praying in our own individual ways before I introduce the first speaker. So in a minute, we do this, please, ladies and gentlemen. May the Almighty answer all prayers and bless this auspicious occasion. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would just like to invite the CEO of Gain Joro, Fatou Camara. She took time out of her busy schedule to join us here this morning. She was here pretty early. Just like I said, this book entails a lot of topics, and one of them is sexual harassment on women and girls, and this is the exact topic that Fatou Camara will be speaking on this morning. So ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our first speaker, Fatou Camara, to help us deliver this topic. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Fatou Baji, I greet and salute you today. Fatou Camara, my daughter, so proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the media, the schools, the students that are here, all protocols respectfully and duly observed. I'll greet you in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure when I'm called to speak over an event or ceremony that relates to women and girls. In my 16 years of work since I returned from UK to the Gambia to start my institution, Gain Joro Skills Academy, Fatou's book, The Virginity, speaks a lot of what drives me into opening my skill center, which is integrity, proud of who you are, respect the norms, the values, and the cultures of women in society and women in general. So it's an honor to be here today. The Virginity clearly resonates to the real fact of the setup of Gainjoro Skills Academy. As I observe and realize how societal problems in relation to early marriage, sexual violence, and prostitution have affected our women and the young generation, I have encountered and resolved real stories of abuse on women in different forms. And today, through my work, we are able to make a lot of women independent and self-reliant. But it doesn't mean the fight is over. The norms surrounding the abuse of women in its various forms will continue, and the people like Fatou, myself, and other women who are out there fighting the same cause will always continue to do so. I will quote a very important narrative that I picked while I was reading about the book. And I quote, Fatou's idea, does not only highlight the rampant and prevalent nature of such acts of violence, but also introduces them to topics for discussion. As society is lightly quiet on the issue, end of quote. I am saying now that we will not be quiet anymore. I am sending the message to the Fatous, the Idas, the Musikebas, the Jainabas, and the Bintas. And I hope they will keep on fighting to stop the abuse of women, and also will invite the Musas, the Ibrahimas, the Ismailas, and the Adamas to help us along the way, because we need men in our midst. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have only had the time to read a small portion of The Virginity, which clearly shows me the effort of authors put in writing this book, and the support we as people, especially my women folk, should give her in not only buying and reading it, but also sharing the messages, because there were powerful values and teachings in this book. It is indeed a way of showing that we are one in our strive to fight abuse on women. Bravo, Fatou. So proud of you because of the stand you have, the passion, the commitment, and the zeal that you have to talk about women and the issues surrounding women as a young woman. Fatou has really inspired me with this book and has also inspired me in different ways. I've seen her as an activist. She said she's an activist, but for me, she's more than that. Because I've got some students that Fatou is supporting to market their products and services. She opened a store that she's managing at the Tipper Garage. And I was there at the opening, and she's supporting young people to bring out their products and services, and she'll promote them, sell for them, and will not take any percentage of it. And she's young, she could have worked on that and earn a lot more money for herself. But that is to show how she wanted to motivate her young people. The story of me opening my skill center, I live in Kolo, the Senegal here, where we know that a lot of young people doesn't believe in working, but believe in following the white people or believe in going out in the night to get money. This is the real fact that happened. That was what motivated me. I see them losing their culture, their norms, their integrity, their dignity, everything they lose because of money. And I said, what can we do? Let them get off the streets, get marketable skills that wherever they are, they can work for themselves and for themselves in a decent way. That everybody will honor and respect them, and they will also be pleased to earn the living in a very rightful way. And when Fatou come up with this book, I see myself in a lot of ways in this book. So we buying the book, we planning to buy some of the books to put in our library so that we'll encourage our young people to read. And we'll also invite Fatou to come to the school and talk to our students for them to also know that she is as young as them, but trying to strive in the most decent way that can earn her the best living for her life. Fatou, bravo. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matijo.
And I am Hadija.
We are here to read a poem entitled The Girl Child. And here it goes.
I am a girl child who deserves to be in liberty. We have to protect our dignity and value our chastity.
We must recommend our status and stay away from vanity and move forward to fight for destiny.
I stand firm to establish our unity and raise my voice to say the girl child is not a commodity.
We must. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matijo.
And I am Hadija.
We are here to read a poem entitled The Girl Child, and here it goes.
I am a girl child who deserves to be in liberty. We have to value our dignity to protect our chastity.
We must recommend our status and stay away from vanity and move forward to fight for destiny.
I stand firm to establish our unity and raise my voice to say the girl child is not a commodity.
We must respect our purity because the girl child is a pride in the community. For us to be recommended, we must attain to our goals to protect our nation.
Let's pull our mantle and fight for liberty and see nothing but education to serve as our protection.
Protect your girl child before it's too late, for if you don't, nobody will.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kadanja.
And I am Ezekiel. We are about to read a poem entitled Away from Slumber.
And here it goes.
Girls of today, open up your eyes. How blind are we that we cannot see our brilliant foolishness?
How blind are we that we cannot see the power that lies in us? Why should we rely 100% on men for our daily needs? Don't you know we are equally talented?
Build your future today for a better future.
To be a better partner, a partner that supports
Girls of today,
wake up. Thank you.
The Master of Ceremony, a warm good morning to the set of Fatus that I have behind me. Fatou Gelsen, Fatim Baji, a sister, a schoolmate, and of course, Fatou Camara, the reason why we are all gathered today. And of course, our able MC, and certainly to you all present here this morning for really helping to lighten up this room for our beloved sister, Fatou Camara Jr. Can we please give her a round of applause for taking up this brilliant initiative. We have had so many of our women who have really participated, contributed their quota in the literary world in this country and of course beyond. I can always remember the likes of going to school, Patience Sonko Godwin, who has written so many books. Again, I can remember in Senegal, Mariama Ba, a great novel she wrote, So Long a Letter, a novel I think I've read 10 times, or probably or even more than that. Great women who have really contributed. And having Fatou, as young as she is, continuing in that line, I think it's a cause for all of us to give her the needed motivation so she's able to really excel in this journey of hers. On behalf of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, who would really love to have been here, unfortunately due to other engagements, he cannot be here, but he had to assign me to come and represent him at this very important forum. I was called a bit late last night, but equally I had to adjust to, and so I am here. I could not prepare a presentation as required because of time, but I still said for the Honorable Minister and for Fatou, I definitely will have to be present here and provide all the support that is needed for this very important day of Fatou. Women play very critical roles, and I think we are all aware. In our homes, they certainly serve as caregivers, making the needed decisions in our homes. You look at the farming sector of this country, The numbers, the statistics are not available, but anecdotally, we can all comfortably say majority of farmers in this country are certainly women, especially in the horticulture field. As entrepreneurs, you go to our markets, it is our Gambian women you find they are competing with men from other countries, and not actually our Gambian women competing with men from the Gambia. You go to the market, women Gambian, the men in the market are unfortunately other nationals and not actually men. So we have our men, the women occupying that space, providing for the family, and of course, providing for themselves. We have seen in certain instances where the woman is actually the breadwinner. And these are examples we can all relate to, either in our homes or in our neighborhoods. I have a neighbor, even if he has to smoke, the wife will have to provide for him to smoke. Even if he has to drink green tea, the wife will have to provide for him to drink green tea. The wife pays for school fees of the children, even rent, the wife pays for. These are realities that we have all lived, either directly or indirectly. So women play important roles in our society. Entrepreneurs, you look at our young entrepreneurs, you wake up as early as 4, 5 a.m. You go to Tipagaras, it's all women. The only men, unfortunately, you find are probably drivers that drove them from Gunjur, from Sanyang, from Jambanjili, or from wherever it is that brought them to Tipagaras or to the Brikama market. As early as 4, 5 a.m., they're in those markets. All they work to do is feeding their families, bringing us up as children. When I went to UTG, the first school fees that was paid for me was my mother's ususu. I think we all know ususu. I don't know the English name for ususu. It was the contributions that they make. So my first school fees, my first term fee at university was paid for by my mom from ususu. That probably she intended to go buy some clothing. Instead of clothing, she put that together to give me. Per semester was 7,000. I think, Bobo, this was 2007. Yeah, I think a semester was 7,000 those days. Put together 7,000 and gave me to go pay school fees. So I think all of us have lived directly or indirectly the roles that our women, our mothers have played in shaping up society as to what it is today. And they continue day in, day out, to play these roles, and they continue playing these roles perfectly well. As a council, as a ministry, we will continue to provide all what is necessary to ensure young women certainly excel. When they excel, we all excel as a country. And I think this is the understanding that we should all have, that when we support them, when they excel, it's not them excelling, but by extension, it is society that is excelling and moving to the next level. So we want to assure Fatou of the support of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the support of the National Youth Council, and of course the support of all the machineries, within the ministry. We want to be with you, we want to celebrate you, the work you've been doing in the literal world, but of course the work you do supporting young entrepreneurs, as Fatou has highlighted. I think the first time we met, I met her in my minister's office, when I spoke to her, and she told me of this initiative, of this stall that she has at Tipa Garage, really bringing together young entrepreneurs who do not have access to a stall, but she's able to support them in that stall. They sell, and of course, they're able to support themselves going back. Again, we want to thank you for bringing to light or continuing a discussion that we all shy away from. Issues of virginity, issues of sexual and gender-based violence. These are topics that usually we are not comfortable discussing. Or where we discuss it, we massage the language to an extent the language makes no sense. Or actually, we get more confused. Instead of helping us, because we intend to massage the language, all of us end up getting confused. Or one statement is interpreted in 10 different ways or in 10 different manners because someone was trying to turn the language to be more comfortable. In the end, you're actually doing more harm than good to that young guy. So it's important all of us bring to light this conversation such that society is more comfortable to discuss this and we are able to guide our young women, our young girls, and give them the advice, of course, that they need. I think we'll have to thank Fatou for bringing up this discussion, and I hope we will all continue to engineer these discussions, and all of us are far more comfortable in these discussions, such that we are all apart. That when we say one, we all understand that one means one, and 1 + 1 is actually 2. But not to turn the language such that 1 + 1 is 5 for me and is 7 for the other guy, and we all think actually we are right, because we are not understanding the message that the sender was trying to put forward. So thank you very much, Fatou. On behalf of my office, I know it's not yet time to pledge. Unfortunately, I have 2 other activities that I have to present this morning. So on behalf of my office, I want to pledge that I'm getting each of my staff a copy. I have 25 staffs in my office, so I'm getting each of my staff a copy. I've tried reaching the Honorable Minister to confirm the number. I cannot reach him, so I will not be able to speak on behalf of the Minister. But on behalf of my office, I'm pledging that I'm getting a copy for each and every member of my staff. And probably this will be the beginning. We might see how many more we can get. But I want to assure all of us to really give Fatou all the support that she needs, and every other young girl, young woman that is really doing well. Let's provide them the support that they need. And all it does, the end result is just a better Gambia for all of us. Thank you very much to you.
Is sitting right next to me. I'll feel very empowered alongside this crowd. So, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Fatou Baji is the CEO of ACE Communications, and she is going to come to this podium now to do the book launching statement. Put your hands together for Madam Fatou Baji, and thank you so much for showing up for Fatou.
And thank you, Madam Chair. Always a pleasure to see this beautiful voice in person. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today, and I'd just like to pay respects to each and every one of you here, ladies and gentlemen, all the school children here, the media, everyone who's here, family members, colleagues so far to here to celebrate her Virginity book launching. So Fatou didn't tell me that I'm doing the actually launching, so you'll have to excuse me as I try to maneuver a speech here. It's really an honor to be here and celebrate the book launching of an extraordinary young woman. As she embarks in this journey, I'd like to start with a quotation that really resonates with me when it comes to Fatou. The quote is, "Young, resilient souls and courageous hearts shape the world's destiny." Once again, young, resilient souls and courageous hearts shape the world's destiny. I think that's an example of what we have here today. I met Fatou Camara at a very rare occasion. And that moment when I saw her, I wouldn't go into details, Fatou, don't worry. She was at a very vulnerable moment, and I was just passing by in a hotel, and I think there was a conference or training happening. And I met with her, and I sat with her as a sister, and something hit me at that moment where I chose not only to mentor her and be her big sister, but I felt that I had a role to play in supporting her achieve her goals. I had never expected that she would be an author in a few years to come. So I hope that I continue to join you in your journey in life, in providing you the support that you can get from a sister. Mentoring Fatou has been great for me. I've been witnessing not only her growth, but seeing her as a communication officer at ACE Communication Executive, and seeing how her confidence has actually gone higher, and also her abilities. Now that she's continuing with her law degree as well, I see further opportunities that could present the case of her activism and care for women and children. And I think her book is a clear testimony of her dedication and perseverance, and boldness, if I may say. So today we're here to celebrate the newest and most vibrant author, I would say, Fatou Camara Jr. Indeed, her book could be controversial, but it opens a conversation. It's a powerful reference and testimony for many individuals, especially young ladies in the Gambia. It has a local and cultural context that can go a long way, maybe not even in this generation, but many generations to come, to understand how their grandmothers felt and what they had to face. So books like this can really go a very long way. It highlights the challenges of our social cultural norms and also religion and tradition in our society. We cannot turn a blind eye to the pressing issues of sexual and gender-based violence that continue to exist in Gambia, the issues of rape and trafficking and abuse of vulnerable girls. These atrocities not only violate the fundamental rights of young individuals, but it brings about fear and pain and injustice. And this breaks a lot of people before they even stand up to be a whole adult. It's our collective responsibility, therefore, to really address this issue and raise them and discuss it and come up with concrete actions that can support those who are most vulnerable. Throughout the book, I understand Fatou sheds light on these critical issues. She is amplifying the voice of silenced, vulnerable young ladies, and this is a platform for many more to come. It's a reminder that as a country, we perhaps need to look at change a little closer to become a society that fully respects and protects the rights and dignity of every individual, regardless of gender. When I asked her about the book, she had expressed to me that, you know, when you're transiting from a girl to a woman in marriage, a lot of it depends on your virginity. And from there, your dignity is either held or withheld, your rights, and so forth in society. And this affects a lot of young women moving forward. Or even this sense of value is attached to that. So, and there's so many things that are attached to it that I believe needs a discussion, perhaps a revisit of how we look at the virginity concept. In terms of value, I mean, I still respect also religion and culture. So yes, I believe that we need to discuss more, and in celebrating Fatou's achievement today, we are today strengthening and supporting the resilience of young girls who are facing adversity wherever they may be today. Fatou's book, Her Virginity, will offer solace, guidance, inspiration, and means of overcoming life-challenging situations. Fatou, I just want you to know that you're shaping the world to be a better place in your own community. And the stories that you've put together do make a difference. I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you, especially her supporters, who really have contributed. You know, she's a young lady. Just look around the hall and just see how many people have shown up for her, much more those watching online. I think this is a clear testimony that people are really here to not only support Fatou, but believe in her vision. And we're here to experience all of it together with this exceptional piece of literature. Now, I must confess, Fatou has not shared the book with me. Okay, I've tried to ask so many times for the draft, but I wasn't receiving it. Maybe Sirin would add to that, but I believe she was sparing me from having to edit and drive her crazy about it. So I think it just adds to my anticipation, and together we will be reading the book together. I want to say specifically to Fatou that I love you and congratulations on this remarkable achievement. You have proven through passion and dedication and perseverance that you're a young individual who indeed can make an impact. May this book be the first of many more to come, and may you leave a very strong mark in the hearts and minds of every reader. Once again, I extend my deepest gratitude to your family as well, and your parents who have raised you to the woman that you've become today. And together, I believe that as a community, as a country, we can uplift and empower the voices of young women in advocating for their rights and creating a better, more equitable future for all. It is now my singular honor and privilege to declare her Virginity book launched. I thank you all for your attention.
And upon sitting for her grade 9 exam, she spent her holiday writing poems and articles for the Gambia Daily Observer, while simultaneously serving as sports news reporter for Digest publication. And during her time as head girl, once again, she participated in the writing and successful completion of her school magazine. And I can see a lot of her school folks here to show support to Fatou. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. And her passion for writing and communications predates her legal career and has pushed her to explore the media fraternity as she interned for the Gambia Information Department and later moved to work for the Fatou Network Online Media. And she currently works as the Media and Public Relations Officer at Case Communications Executive. And this is why I'm so excited about Fatou. The moment I will hear media, I am so passionate to join that course to support my comrades. And as a keen observer of her society from childhood, and as a great advocate for human rights, particularly women and girls, she believes everyone deserves to be protected and guided to live a dignified life. And this belief is demonstrated through her NGO, Guide Her Young. We also display they did here from the poetry to the dance. That's amazing. An organization that endeavors to guide and protect the welfare of teenage girls in the Gambia. And her recently published novel, and that's the book that is about to be unveiled to the public, Her Virginity. In 2020, she was among the 5 youth who were selected to represent the Gambia in the African Regional Leadership Center in Ghana, Cohort 16, that's the YALI, a program that I'm very familiar with, and the Young African Leadership Initiative. She also became an alumnus of the US Exchange Program, and through these experiences, Fatou managed to become the founder of a fashion brand called Broken Treasure, which is displayed on the e-commerce website, yobalma.com. You see how versatile she is? A communications officer, an entrepreneur, and someone who is guiding young people to the right path. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our newest author in town, Fatou Camara, as she takes to the podium to deliver a speech. Congratulations, Fatou. We are super proud of you, and welcome.
Thank you. Let me start by sincerely thanking all of you for taking the time to be with me here today in the launching of my maiden book. This day for me is not just the launching of my first novel, but it is also the launching of my career in writing novels that reflect society as I see it. And in this process, I am happy to learn from all of you, especially those that are already in the literary world. Today, Madam Chairperson, today if my father was here, I would have told Fatoumata Cissé to address me as Sanaye Papayo, as my stepmom would often say of me. It means the treasure of her father. Indeed, I was the treasure of my late dad, and that is why his absence made me a broken treasure. His absence opened a new door for me, a door to a room of unpleasant experiences. It exposed me prematurely to the unpleasant realities of women and girls in our society. It was after his death that I realized that this whole story about close relatives raping innocent girls is indeed real. I could vividly remember when a very close family friend and a powerful politician attempted to rape me. He saw the absence of my overly protective father as an opportunity to abuse me. But that day, something woke up in me, the spirit to stand for myself, the spirit to defend myself, and the spirit to stand up to monsters and heartless beasts disguised as families and friends. Instantly, I fearlessly looked at him and told him, "If you dare hurt me, the entire country will sing your name." That was how I escaped. But my heart has never been at ease, knowing that there are many girls in this part of the world who on daily basis are falling prey in the hands of such people. It is more devastating when you come from a less privileged home or when your parents are late. This experience has shaped a lot about me, especially in my relations and dealings with some boys. And because of this, a lot of boys, particularly in my neighborhood, used to tell me, "Hamud Bopam, who does he think he is?" Along the line, I came to realize that in the Gambia, when a man says of a girl or a woman, "Hamud Bopam, Amanjut Fango, Anda Horema," it's a good thing. It's their own way of saying you just can't take advantage of her. But not many girls escape from this trap. Okay, I'm sorry. Madam Chairperson, oftentimes people ask, "But why did you write this novel?" In case you're wondering, well, my inspiration is my society, the way my society treats its women. As an observant person, I have for long observed my society. I saw how men in position, men with influence and affluence, men that are trusted by the family, take advantage of the physical and financial weaknesses of women to abuse them. It is even worse with men who are street rich, men who neglect their family responsibilities but will follow girls on the streets just to have them in bed. Thank you. In a nutshell, my observation of the relationship between men and women rekindled my passion for writing. I felt this strong urge to write a novel that would especially reflect sexual abuse of women in our society. The irresistible push came about when I attended a wedding that turned out utterly bad. As customary in our society, the bride was given to her husband on the wedding night. As usual, the elderly women literally held a vigil at the door of the bridegroom, waiting anxiously to celebrate the results of the so called encounter of the couple. It was basically a wait to know if the bride was a virgin and to celebrate her virginity. But these women did not care to know if the lady had been raped, which might have led to the destruction of her virginity, or whether the lady was even born with a hymen, or that the hymen was at some point destroyed unbeknown to the lady. And the craziest part was nobody cared to know if the man was a virgin. Very funny. Then I set out to research, to basically find out, or rather, to better understand what informed our societal perception about female virginity. I needed to understand how our society was able to place her virginity as a determinant of her values, her rights, and dignity. As a believer, the first point I researched about is the position of, of our religion on such a practice. I was baffled, surprised to say the least, to find out that subjecting women to a virginity test in their matrimonial home has no basis in our religion. There is no scripture, as far as I know, that supports such a practice. On the contrary, the practice is discouraged. Having happened what happened, in order to measure up and satisfy societal expectations, a lot of ladies getting into marriages now resort to the harmful use of drugs and procedures to restore their lost virginity. And today, within minutes, you can be a virgin again. But the aftermath can be terrible. According to credible medical doctors, the negative impact of virginity restoration, drugs, and procedures could last forever. But women are willing to gamble their lives in order to have the societal respect of some of our brothers, our uncles, and our fathers, when some of them are the very ones who usually stole our virginity away in gruesome manners. Who are those responsible for the rampant rapes of innocent girls and incest? Who are those taking advantage of the weaknesses and vulnerabilities of women and girls? I can vividly remember when I was working with one public institution. There was this man, old enough to be my father, who was constantly telling me how much he loved me. To cut a long story short, he later labeled me a bandit when he could no longer get his way out. I later quit the job. But without a doubt, I know that people like this would always have their way out with other young ladies, either through force or deceit. Madam Chairperson, my statement here or my writing in this book should in no way be misconstrued as I am repulsive to men or that men are not good. No way. I can never say that. In fact, a lot of my friends are men and they support me in everything I do. I know men like Honorable Bakari Baji, the Minister of Youth and Sport, Lamin Kande, the CEO of iAfrica TV, Standard Newspapers Talib Hydra, my uncle Abba Bojang, Omar Baji, Omar Jiba, my brother from another mother, Joseph Jata, Sering S. Toure of Ace Communications Executive, and many other men who are seated here. Madam Chairperson, at this point, I would also like to thank some great women who have made some indelible mark in my life. I want to say a big thank you to my mom, not just because she is my mom, but because I felt blessed to have a mother who trusts me 100% and never doubted me for a moment. Nandi Abaraka, Midekane Mite Chami, Mideka wano sanu ngani and big to be our Mikane Mite Chami, Ugalu Nuli, Midekane Mite Chami. Baraka. Madam Chairperson, I would also like to tell you that I feel really blessed to have crossed paths with these great women seated at the high table and even those seated in the gallery. My boss, Fatim Baji, the CEO of Ace Communications Executive. Fatim is very, very special to me. She is like, I don't even look at her as a boss. I see her as a sister. I want you all to please clap for me for the support and support. Thank you. My leader, Honorable Fatou Sengay, CEO, Gay Njoro Skills Academy. She is also another great woman. She motivates me a lot, and I want her to know that I sincerely appreciate her. Auntie Hadi, excuse me to call you Auntie Hadi, because I see her as an auntie, and honestly, she is very inspiring, and I love her a lot. I love the work that she is doing. We appreciate it, and I feel honored and blessed to have you here too. Thank you. And everyone that supported in one way or the other, I am grateful to all of you. As I conclude, let us unite and be guiding angels in the lives of our girls and women. They need our protection. They need our support. They need our support to stand with them against archaic, baseless, and discriminatory societal practices. They need our support in exposing and shaming men who would stop at nothing but taking advantage of women and girls. No one can, but together we can all do this. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, family, everybody who's here today. Sorry, I had to be at the swearing in at KMC. hence why I'm late to be here. My heart is full today because of the book is a book. If you read it and you go through it, you will see that Fatou talks about the society we live in. She talks about the society where women and girls are prizes. They are looked at in a way that society judges them, looks at them as figures that are to be judged at every stage of their lives. From the day they are born, to the day they go to school, to the day they graduate, to the day they get husbands, etc. The thing about the book is that the women are showed in a way that they're not allowed to be women in a free way, because throughout their lives they are judged in every step that they take. From the day you are born, you're made to wear pink as a girl. From there on, you're made to do the house chores. From there on, you're expected to be a virgin when you marry. We all know it's a pride to be a virgin. We all want to be virgins till we marry. But if you look at it, most women are either raped or sexually violated in some way. Statistics tell us that in every 3 women, 1 is raped every minute. Do you believe that? So it's not that women don't want to be virgins when they want to get married. It's taken away from them. Taken away from them by force. Taken away from them by abuse. And it's done by the people that they trust the most, which is their uncles, sometimes even their fathers. You say it, people don't believe you. In the Gambia right now, I know of 4 girls who have been impregnated by their own fathers. Has anyone been prosecuted? No. Why? Because society frowns on it. The reason why I love Fatou's book is that she did not just write a book. It's not fiction, it's reality. She did research, she went into the communities, she studied women, girls, etc. And she wrote this book. And for that, I want you all to give her a round of applause. Thank you, Fatou. The first day I met Fatou was at a conference. We went to a conference in Senegal. And we fell in love with each other, being that we do the same kind of work. Work that we know that can help the next generation. I think as women, as men, as she said, we love our men. We need our men. We need you all. But we just want you all to pay a bit more attention to the women. Give us a bit more care, a bit more thought. At the end of the day, we are your mothers, your sisters, etc. If you look at it, at FLAG, the Female Lawyers Association, I always tell people that and they're amazed. It's not the women who come to complain. It's not the women who are our clients, trust me. It's the brothers mainly who come, and the fathers. They're the ones who come and lay the complaints when something happens to their daughter or to their sister. So that's how you should look at all the women. You should look at them all as if they're your brothers, your sisters and your mothers, your aunties, etc. If we do that, I think we'll live in a better society. Read the book. It's food for thought. Thank you very much.